Daybreak. The Daybreak Show.
Reverend Olúṣesí, I want to start with you. Let's start with Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigeria People's Party. He has a clout in the northwestern Nigeria. How far do you see Kwankwaso going in the 2023 presidential elections?
Thank you very much. I see Kwankwaso not going very far, but he will go some distance. Now, not very far, I mean that Kwankwaso is an influential politician in the north, especially Kano, and whatever happens in Kano as a state will affect some other adjoining states, and then the northern electorates, they relied on particular sentiments to cast the vote. You understand what I'm trying to talk about? And then if Kwankwaso, before you can win a presidential election in Nigeria, you must have, let me call it, extensive structure. So people that will run for you, people that will engage people that will go around for. So NNPP is a new formation. It's a new party. So, and I don't think, and I've not seen them so much in other regions of Nigeria other than the northern region, possibly southwest, northwest. But then, that is me, you cannot underrate Kwankwaso. And no one should underrate the consequences of any general election. It is like a black market that you don't know what is held inside it until you unwrap it. You understand? And there's so many indices that determines winning an election, especially in this country. And it is never over until it's over. Concerning election. So I see him ruffling some feathers, but not actually capturing, winning the presidential election as it were.
All right, sir. Okay, so I'm referring to Mr. Zadok. Nigerians have seen that both PDP and APC can offer in terms of leadership and governance since 1999. Situation of things seems to have declined, and over time things have gone just deteriorated. So then there are the schools of thought who feel that the possibility of the third force can even change things and even make things better. What is your take on this?
Let me say first and foremost, I've had the opportunity of participating in election planning over a period of time. I will tell you that for any new political party to spring up as the NNPP has done and to win a general election in Nigeria is impossible. The reason being this, you cannot take away the culture, custom, tradition of the environment that you are going to play your politics. And to get that inclusion into different tribes, different ethnicity, different regions, and be accepted as a political party that defines them in their locality takes some time. Sentiment of, okay, we can, create a sort of revolution, cause the people to all of a sudden just change and vote a new party, does not wash in Nigeria. I keep saying that we make the mistake of assuming that a democracy, has some celestial, godly power that makes people win elections because they have good intentions. It's not so. You are going to play your politics within the environment called Nigeria. You can't spring forth as a small political party. Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
The structures you need at the polling unit are structures that would either be loyal to you. They don't just spring up in a day. And not in a situation where you are going to try and replicate that structure across 774 local governments. It's almost impossible. The amount of resources, the alliances you need to build, unfortunately are not there because most of these alliances have been built already. My party, the PDP, has its loyal members, loyal supporters, people in government across the different parts of this country. The APC also has the same thing across the different parts of the country. Where is the NNPP? As a matter of fact, where's the Labour Party? Where are these two political parties? It's not so much as coming on social media and making a lot of noise. It's about going deep down into the roots. It's about investing in the people over a period of time. And if you don't do that, You can't just spring up using what I will call the Jaguda mentality of just springing forth and snatching power. It doesn't work. It has never worked in Nigeria over the last 23 years of our democracy. It won't work.
Talking about a lot of buzz on social media, Mr. Zadok, there's been a lot of clamor for the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi from the youth, and most of them are also, I would say, aware now, because there was a concert that was held last week Saturday by Fowles and Macaroni, some other social media influencers, and they also brought INEC to be able to register some people to get their PVC, and there's actually a lot of buzz coming for Peter Obi.
I think we are making a mistake of thinking that the buzz is actually for Peter Obi. Look, the concert in Lagos was to incite young Nigerians to do what should be their social responsibility. Nobody needs to come and tell you to go pick your PVC or create a concert to get you to pick your PVC. You should know that it's your civic right and it's a responsibility you owe the Nigerian state. Now, the fact that people need to be incited should underscore the challenges of our political system. There must be an enticement. Peter Obi's emergence as the candidate of the Labour Party is just simply an enticement, something to give the youth a sort of direction as if this is the hopeful place to go. But it has no structure. It has no structure. I keep telling you, I have participated at the polling unit. I've worked as the director of media for a political party. I have had to do planning, election planning in consort with several other people within the party. And I'll tell you very clearly, the challenges before any political party cannot be borne by any small, nascent political party. It is almost impossible. If you want to win elections, the structures you need are humongous. Those structures don't spring from... The Nigerian youth is not going to create that structure over a short period of time. It's not a Houdini kind of thing that you just snap your finger and then it pops up. They need to... I appreciate the fact that we are doing this, that they are doing this. You know, creating enlightenment, pushing the younger generation forward, telling them to engage. But the person that will reap the efforts now is somewhere in the future. Because there's a process for development of any structure, any infrastructure, anything in any society. And that process was started at the NSAS issue, where young Nigerians began to see that, oh, we need to take some level. They began to see that there's a difference between potential and kinetic. Potential is docile energy. Kinetic is moving energy. So, and if you don't move, you don't cause change. And that's what they are doing now. But it's not yet uhuru. They are still going to have to work over a period of time.
Are you saying that there has to be a certain kind of structure for someone to be able to emerge as the president in 2023?
Look, there has to be. Unfortunately, a lot of Nigerians don't understand that you can never emerge to be either for any political position except you have a political party. That's the constitution. Only political parties can nominate an individual. So which means that for you to get to that point, which is the end point of winning elections, you need to run a platform of a political party. Now in Nigeria, there are two political parties, the PDP and the APC. The reason being, and I will qualify why I said that, there are two political parties. Because these are the only two political parties that have over time been built with the people. The PDP and the APC, for instance, started the APC. Don't forget the name changes. It's been the AD and then the combination of other parties. Yeah. If you go back to the history of the creation of the APC, they could never have won the presidential election if they had not built alliances. The Labour Party is not building alliances. If it's going to build alliances, it's going to build alliances with people that participate in the election. And across the country will win 1,000, 1,500 votes where people are winning 11 million. And those alliances are inconsequential. You need to build those alliances with parties like the PDP and then build alliances maybe with parties like the APC who is in power. Even abroad, alliances are created to win government, to win power. So a political party that is, at best, it's at its infanthood when you talk about real engagement in elections, cannot just pop up and win elections. It is impossible.
All right, Reverend, talking about the Labour Party and Peter Obi right now, we know Labour Party has been in existence for a while, and they have a little bit of structure, running the party for a while. What is your own opinion about the Labour Party and Obi? How far do you think they can go at the 2023 general elections?
I want to differ a little from the standpoint of my friend.
Okay.
You see, when we're talking about structures, political party structure, and winning an election is different. This structure that we're talking about, as an old party man, I say present party man, and I was there before, and I understand what did we use structure for. Now, the structures are the people that will go from one local government, one ward to another, mobilizing people, come out and vote, whatever, and things. And on the day of the vote, they carry money in their hands and trying to entice people, transportation. But once there is a revolution of mind, are you hearing me? When there is people have made up their mind to go a particular direction, they don't need you to come and convince them to vote. Now, what we are looking at in this country now, we are seeing a kind of youth revolution. Their heart is pumping. Their heart is pumping over certain things that they want Nigeria to get it right. The youth are determined to take their destiny in their hand, and in that wise, they will not wait for any ward chairman or whatever anything. Come and mobilize. Their spirits are already mobilized, to cast their votes. So structure on its own doesn't win election. It is PVC that does. You understand my point now? So if you have the structure, extended structure, if the people reject you, it will not translate into election. It will not translate into what? Yes, sir. As they are galvanizing youth and the rest of them, what my brother is referring to as it has no structure is that people to mobilize them together, people to direct them, people to guide them. But they are already directed from their mind. They are already mobilized from their spirit. They already made up their mind to effect a change. If that revolution continues, they go and drop their votes. They don't need anybody. All those opinion molders, those social media influencers or whatever. Yeah, there are different ways of winning an election. If election is organized on the social media, then the most influential person will win. But if election is by ballot, by PVC, so you need people, you understand me, to do the work for you to cast the vote. But the point I'm raising is this: who engineered the NSAS? What was the structural base that brought NSAS out? Who was that political leader that that provoked their coming out? All of us, we were taken aback, we were taken unaware. It was gradually gaining momentum until almost all Nigeria, except in northern Nigeria. You understand point? So if such will happen in the coming general election, and let me tell you, it is Peter Obi they are running for. It is Peter Obi is their focus. If it happens like it's happening in NSAS, my brother, they will cast their vote for that direction.
I see the way Mr. Zadok is arranging.
I'm sure you have something to say to that. Let's have what you have to say.
Amazingly, PVCs don't win election. It's the PVCs that are used at the polling unit that win elections. The fact that people are collecting PVC must be. And I want to be very careful, because sometimes when we do election planning, we don't want to say things that will give your opponent an opportunity to correct himself.
Okay.
But it goes beyond just collecting PVCs. Go back and look at the demography of voting across Nigeria. You mentioned the NSAS. Indeed, the NSAS, commendable response from young Nigerians to tell the government that they are existing and are there, and that they have that political and power base to challenge whatever government does. But it was localized, largely localized in the highly educated southwestern part of Nigeria. You find fewer instances of the NSAS protest in the northeast, northwest, the north central, even in the southeast and the south. You find it more localized towards the southwestern part of Nigeria. So if you look at the NSAS as the basis for winning election, the election is already lost. Because you are not going to be president of the Southwest, you are going to be president of the entire Nigerian state. And Nigerians keep failing to see this, that the culture of the Nigerian society is not going to be corrected by personnel changes at the ends of affair. Corruption that, they keep making this error. Look at 2014, the preparation for Muhammad Buhari's emergence.
Yes.
Nigerians felt that this is the Messiah, that personnel changes at the presidency would automatically cascade down into correcting the anomalies in the country. Has it not failed? Has it not failed? So those who are basing their argument for their presidential candidate on that once he becomes the president, Nigeria will change, are absolutely walking in ignorance. And I would explain why. The problem of Nigeria is not the president. It's the culture of Nigeria across multiple systems. It's the culture. The culture of Nigeria. I keep saying this, and with all due respect to my country, we have a culture of impunity. We have a tradition of nepotism. Our language is corruption. Virtually every one of us that is a Nigerian has been exposed to corruption at one point or the other. So it's not just about changing personnel. It's about sitting down together, bringing people into governance across all structures. Young people are saying, once Peter Obi is there, the same arguments they had when Buhari was coming into power that has failed everybody is the same argument they are doing today, which for me is a bit scary, in that you would expect our demography as young people to be the most intellectually engaging, the ones that can give a clear understanding as to why we are where we are. But they are not doing that. And so to assume that anybody coming to seek to rule Nigeria will win just because people are on social media collecting PVC. Look at the APC primaries. If you go back to that primaries, you would have assumed that our own Professor Shibaji would have won the election based on the statistics or polls online. It came a distant thought. That is the Nigeria you are talking about. If you think that in the last election in my state, the governorship election, I was #1 to vote in my polling unit. Obviously, I voted for my political party. The importance of having structure, which my reverend gentleman has a little bit, watered down, can never be overestimated. If you don't have structures in polling units, it's not the sharing money that is the structure. It's people believing that this political party is going to, the victory of this political party is going to be of interest to me and the securing of my future. That's the structure. People willingly, coming out of their comfort zone to go to the polling unit to vote. In an average polling unit in Ondo State, where I live right now, you will find voter registration between 700 and 1,200. There are some above that, there are some below that. But you will never find voter participation above 300, which means there's a lot of voter apathy. The people that come out to vote in Nigeria are those who are either members of political parties or people who are influenced to come to the polling unit to vote, or a smaller percentage of that are the intellectuals who would rather just vote at the polling unit and go to the houses and watch TV. But the people that engage in elections are party members. And for you to have people engaging in elections across the thousands of polling units we have in Nigeria, the 774 local government, is humongous. It's too big. At best, what they would achieve is that they would have sown the seed that there is a possibility, if we keep banding together, that we can change governments in the future. And I see that happening. But to win this election is impossible.
I want to...
It's impossible. Okay.
I want to defy again a little. Yes, I've been a politician before.
True.
I was I worked with Otumba Bengada and the government. Okay. And I got it to the level of a secretary of a local government. And I worked closely with him, the OGD. When I say closely with him, I understood him, I saw the way things are going. You see, these things are, my friend, things can change.
I agree.
When people make up their mind to go.
I agree.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Let us not continue to say that it has been like this from ages and it will continue to be like. What if there is tsunami? What if there's a revolution of mentality? What if the people make up their mind that we want to do this thing differently? That is that realm I'm speaking. Yes, we have the structure that will do this thing, but we have seen structures where we go to voters and we try to woo them and they say, let me just use this Yoruba. Say, you go, we will come and meet you. You understand? And you will say that yes, you have satisfied these people, whether with whatever, anything that, and at the end of the day, when you finish, when the votes were counted, you discover that these people have deceived you. You understand my point? So that's the realm I'm speaking.
I don't disagree with that.
You understand my point? So, and I was using NSAS as a model. That so yes, it is sectional, it is southwest here, but if we have such a model across the length and breadth of Nigeria, that people, youth will come out and say, make up their mind, we are going to effect change. They will effect that change with their vote.
All right, sorry to cut you. Reverend, looking at the majority of those that are clamoring for the Labour Party candidate, Peter Obi, most of them are from the south. Do you see northern youth voting for Peter Obi in the forthcoming 2023 election?
Yes, let me say that northern youth may stay back from Peter Obi because of their impression about activities and actions of IPOB. You understand? And northern youth listening, they hear their preachers mostly, and in the north, religion directs their steps majorly when it comes to electioneering and campaign and voting. You understand? So that may not allow me to actually point in that yes, the northern youth may go with Peter Obi, but the north central may not be the same thing as the core north, northwest, and the northeast. In the north central, you have majorly Christian dominated. You understand? Taraba, Benue, and what have you. And then coming to the southwest, you can never rule out Peter Obi's influence. Let me tell you something here. The number and the figure of Igbo guys in Lagos, if elections are free and fair, they will win votes. They will win senatorial, I'm telling you. If election, my brother, I'm telling you, since I've been in Lagos. My family is in Lagos. When I come to Abeokuta, I just look at Abeokuta, I say, oh, if elections are free and fair, if our ballot, if our vote counts, and INEC were able to eliminate or reduce substantially the electoral irregularity and violence, the Igbos in Lagos, they will spring surprise. I'm telling you, take it from me. Take it from me. Yeah. And in the southwest, the Igbos in the southwest, they will spring surprise. They will surprise people.
Okay. Before we, okay. Do you have something to say to that?
Something earlier that it's only people who belong to political parties that come out to vote.
Mostly.
Okay, and then some people of course have their PVC.
It's a big issue. It's a culture we have. You know, there's this, over time we have been militarized in our mindset. And an average Nigerian has this entitlement culture, which is unfortunate. That entitlement has created a sort of basic perception in our minds when it comes to social services. We rarely sacrifice our peace for the benefit of others. And so you find that people will sit down in their houses. It's happened to me too, so I'm not saying it about people, I'm saying about things I've experienced. Where you just, when you have the decision to take between going to the polling unit and staying in the comfort of your home and the TV is on, just say, well...
Is it for security purposes or what?
Is it?
Because of security.
Not necessarily security. Security in some sections of the country, but even the worst place as a 2019 election was the Northeast. The Northeast came out almost with massive, almost 100% votes at the polling unit. So it's not really security. It's just that innate within us, there is a challenge. And that challenge is based on the fact that we have been accultured over time to not be nationalistic in our mindset. So an average Nigerian believes in the advantages Nigeria can give him, but not in the advantages he can take the responsibility of ensuring that quality minds get into leadership. Look, I said the other time that the issue of personnel changes at the top will not solve any problem. The most important place to cause change, if the Peter Obi set, the Labour Party and NNPP would really desire to cause change, is to pursue to have representation in the National Assembly. Being president of Nigeria is less important than having the domineering majority in the National Assembly. Once you can do that, I've never seen a tree grow from the top. You must sow a seed. And the seed was started by young Nigerians during the NSAS protest. Politics, people are coming now to bring in some ethnic sentiment, because I wanted to talk about, when we talk about fairness and justice, what will be fair? If you are talking about a huge population of Lagosians who have Igbo ancestry in Lagos State voting against their hosts. You know, that's almost tantamount to a declaration of disrespect. And this is what I'm sorry, please let me continue. This is what we saw in the last election, when you saw almost a creation of an ethnic conflict between the Igbos and the Yorubas. It's not necessary. When we talk on radio, I would have advised Peter Obi, look, the kind of verbal violence, cyberbullying happening by his supporters on social media, everybody keeps talking about it. People who have had an initial support for him are now moving back because they are not managed. Their social media is not managed. Their supporters are not managed in terms of the utterances they put in public space. These utterances are very dangerous when we incite it. For instance, we cannot say that we have a huge population of Igbos in Lagos that will cause change. You know, even if it is the reality in Amuwo-Odofin and other places in Ojo, you can't say that to your host, because this kind of thing cannot be replicated back home. And so when you say that publicly, you are really making things worse. Because look, I keep saying, you want to canvass someone to vote for you, the first thing you do is to try to get into the mind of the individual to think that it will be to his advantage to have you in power. If you bully that person, automatically it's a fundamental response, it's a natural response. You self-protect. And that's what's happening with the Peter Obi gang. Brilliant guy, PDP member at a time, vice presidential candidate of the PDP, you know. He said he wanted to be president of Nigeria. It's valid right. But the only reason why that is being pursued, and why he left, was because his ambition is an ethnic ambition. It's not a national ambition. You don't pursue a national ambition under the guise of ethnicity that it is the turn of a particular region. I keep saying, look, Igbos are dispersed all across the country. My niece is an Igbo. My niece. My brother-in-law is Igbo. He speaks more Yoruba, better Yoruba than me. When I talk about this issue of called ethnicity, I tell us we have to be very careful. They are the Yoruba Igbos. Let me tell you, they are Yoruba Igbos. People of Igbo ancestry that have lived, the only culture they have lived in, the only environment and tradition they have understood is tradition of their hosts. When it comes to election, you cannot incite their ancestry against their culture and tradition. The culture and the tradition where they have grown in a particular place, they have been assimilated into that place. They are Hausa Yorubas. People, they are Fulani Yorubas. People that came from the north, they were born in Lagos, for instance, born in Ogun State. The culture they have lived with is the culture of the Yoruba people. As a matter of fact, they are Yorubas of Hausa ancestry, of Igbo ancestry. So we need to be very careful about that.
Are you saying it is betrayal if Easterners who reside perhaps in Lagos or in South?
No.
Must vote for?
Not at all.
Right.
It's their fundamental right to choose who they want. But you cannot make it a campaign issue, which is where the problem is. Because if it's a campaign issue based on ethnicity, then you should be talking about an Igbo president of Igbo land, not a Nigerian president. I keep saying, sorry sir, I keep saying, this is where we keep making mistakes. I'm a Yoruba man. My Yoruba culture, custom, tradition, and ancestry is Yoruba. But as a Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian. My culture, custom, tradition, and ancestry is not Yoruba. It's pro-unity. That's why I must see others as my brothers. So we don't campaign. I keep saying it. We don't ever campaign in public space using ethnicity. It's done in the north. You will find that they rarely make it a campaign issue. They make it a personal issue of the Igbos in Lagos State is their personal right. There are Igbos in Lagos State that are House of Rep members at the moment. There are Igbos in Lagos State that are contesting. Our party's candidates in I think Amuwo-Odofin is Igbo. Obama is Igbo. As a matter of fact, he got a landslide victory. The Yorubas support him. The Yorubas don't look at him as Igbo. They look at him as, this is our Ajo Dagbani now. We grew up here. He's our person. So I just want to state that very clearly. Something I'm passionate about.
I want to say something that I don't see aspiration or ambition to want to be this or president or whatever as ethnic driven. I don't want to agree on that one. If we agree that because the Igbos want to be president and they want to canvass that, so we'll be saying they are trying to disseminate ethnic spirit. It is not true.
No. I was responding to what you
wait, I'm
said.
coming. What? I am a Yoruba man. I am from Abeokuta. I'm from Igbori here. And I want in the 2023 election a Yoruba person to be the president. Are you going to charge me for ethnic?
Of course not.
Whatever. No. You see, every ethnic region in Nigeria wants to get to the highest level of the power in this country. It is the right.
Absolutely.
It's a right. But the point I'm trying to do is, we know, because Peter Obi Labour Party is a young party and they may not be able to make it to the presidency of this country in 2023, but the point remains they can cause major upset.
Absolutely
for the
agree.
two major parties that we have. That's the point I'm emphasizing.
That's agreed.
In the last 2015 or 2015 election, the Igbos in Lagos were majorly PDP. And they created upsets, like he was saying. They want House of Representatives, House of Assembly, and majorly, you understand me now? It was bully and a threat and the rest, even to the Oba of Lagos. It's a public information that he told the Igbos that if they work against this party, they are going to take them to is it Mediterranean Sea or something. You understand my point now? If you get to that threat, gets to that level, and you know in 2019, what happened in Lagos? They went to Idumota. Excuse me, you can't take it away from Igbo guys. They spread all over this country. They may have a landlocked region, but they have big population across Nigeria. If their voice will be one, sir, they will create major upset for the major parties. That's the point I'm trying to create.
So, Reverend, you don't see any Southeasterners voting for either APC or PDP? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, you see, because of the sentiment that Igbos now, let's face the fact. Igbos are aggrieved. If we don't want to agree with it, it will meet us unaware, catch us unaware. They are aggrieved because that one, IPOP, the major information, the major point of IPOP is that they were neglected. They were not being part of Nigeria. They were not, you understand what I say? It's a public information. And okay, now the politicians in the Isati, the governors and the rest of them, and the Ohanese in Igbo, they were clamoring that okay, bring this presidency 2023 to our region too. We are also Nigerians. We are also part and parcel of this land, and it come out that from the two major parties, the APC and the PDP, the Southeasterners were shut out. I watched APC presidential primary live. I didn't sleep. You understand? And I listened to the message of Obonaya Onu and the former president of the Senate. And what do you call this man?
Yeah, skip my mind.
Okay. Namani. The rest of them. And all those Igbo political leaders that came on stage, they didn't come to canvass for vote. They came to protest. If you watch it, they came and they protested the process. You understand? That publicly shut them out. Look at the governor of Ebonyi State. Dave Umahi came, he spoke, and at the end of the day, he now took the fight back to his people in Ebonyi that they betrayed. You understand? So the point I'm saying that the Igbo region, the Southeasterners, my brother, they were grieved. And because of their grief, yes, they can decide to spoil the show for the major parties.
It will be. I won't want to. You see, I won't want.
They can decide to cast. They can decide to follow a line.
Yeah.
They can decide to. They can decide to follow a voting pattern. Though it will not be uniform, but majority is the election is by majority. Even if it is leading by one.
Okay. So
you know, sir, if this is empirical fact, you will see that protest in the pattern of voting either during the PDP primaries or the
APC primaries.
If it was a collective vision of the Igbos to ensure that power comes to their side, you will find that they would have bandied around themselves. You probably would have had, they understood that there was an Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there was a city vice president contesting in the APC. They will simply have nominated one of them and then bandied all the Southeast votes. If this agenda is an Igbo nationality agenda. It is not. Democracy is a very funny system of government. When you bring morals into democracy, you conduct an error. Let me tell you why. Democracy says, I'm a system of government of the people, by the people, for the people. Which means that the culture of any democracy practiced in any environment is based on the culture, custom, tradition of the people that practice it. So if you have immoral people operating a democracy, it should be a government of immoral people, by immoral people, for immoral people. It's a valid democracy. You can be talking about justice. Look, in a democracy, inclusion is the underlying word. Everybody must participate. You negotiate to have an advantage. This is what the southern part of Nigeria did in ensuring that, look, validly, the North has had it for 8 years. If you go back 1999 to 2007, we had a southerner.
Yes.
Then we had a southerner for 6 years. Now we have a northerner, a northwesterner for 8 years. Automatically, everybody knows it should come to the south. If it is about justice, because I've said this severally and I say it again, we don't use you don't campaign on justice in a democracy, because a democracy does not promise you justice. If the people are unjust, it's a valid democracy. It doesn't promise you justice. Democracy says that it will take his life from the people that practice it. So if it was brought to the south, if it's about justice, you will give it to the southeasterner. You will give it to the southeasterner because naturally it should be their turn, because the southwest has had it twice. The southwest has had it. The north has had it. It's coming to the south. The south has had it. Why don't we go to the southeast? But then you ask, when you come to equity, what has been the contribution of the southeast to the APC as a political party for them to justifiably request that it be given to them? That was a valid argument against the southeast. Because if you knew that this thing was going to come to the south, you would have begun the political intrigues, the political work needed to rally around.
And make sure it comes to you.
In the election, in the primaries, the Southeast brought multiple candidates, multiple aspirants in the same election. None of them was willing to step down for the other. So you can't be talking about it being a Southeast collective agenda. It's not. In the voting, there were governors that a sitting governor did not even get the total delegates from his own constituency. So it's not an Igbo agenda. The Igbos, very industrious, very Republican. The Igbos are nationalists in mindset. The only thing that has not been properly done is to canvass the advantages within the Nigerian state. And those advantages are there. Very strong race, very strong ethnic unit, extremely strong, extremely brilliant unit, very diverse, has penetrated virtually everywhere. They are easily assimilated into any environment they find themselves. But have they translated that to political advantage for their party? You cannot say validly, if you are going to talk about justice and equity, you cannot say validly that once the candidacy comes, it should be given to them. Because the argument then again will be, what has been their contribution to the development of the same party they want to take advantage of? I'm talking about the APC.
Let's talk about your party. Let's talk about his party, the PDP.
Yes.
Now, in the last 6 years,
yes,
the southeast, the south, the two zones are the stronghold
of the PDP. Yes.
You understand?
Absolutely.
That's the power base of PDP. Okay, if that is the case, should PDP not to have thought it wise and equitable and justice wise to say these people have been staying glued to this party, let's soon this thing there.
Correct. They should have.
That was what infuriated Peter Obi. Peter Obi knew these people will not come their direction. It's very clear, you understand? And our old man, the veteran politician, Wasiri, Atiku, you understand? Now, wanted to actualize his life ambition. I'm telling you. Wanted to actualize his life ambition. Atiku has been contesting presidential election right from the time of MK Abiola.
Yes.
And he has been there, and he has been coming, he has been losing, he has been coming, he has been losing. Only God knows if he will make it even this time. But the southeast and the south, that has been the stronghold of PDP, equity determined that these people, they give these people a chance.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with what
you're saying. But in the APC, APC, the stronghold of APC is the Northwest and the Southwest. So if APC does not give Southeast, they sown their presidency there, they justify it. Because there was no serious presence of the Southeast in the PDP, I'm sorry, in the APC. You understand? Until when Umahi, they come from whatever. And I was looking at those ones that, look, it's for me, it is not a decision that those people should have taken. But politicians, they took decisions sometimes and they just were, that you have not been part of the formation of a party. They have been coming for so, you just jump from your party and you go there and you want the APC to give you their president. Where is Asiwaju? Even Asiwaju himself, who is the founding father of APC, had to fight to get it.
Yes.
That is necessary.
And in the PDP also, Atiku Abubakar, who is the founding member of the APC,
also wanted to
had to fight. It wasn't given. Look, in that election, I say Wike would have won. Wike would have won. But
and that would have been better for PDP.
That is why we need to go back. We need to go back to asking the question of what is just. Wike would have won. Wike is a Southerner, very aligned also towards the Southeast, because it is said that ancestrally he must be an Igbo man. If you look at his name, anyway, that's apart. Wike. That's apart. That's Wike. Yeah, Wike. Now, Wike would have won. But politics is not sentiments. On that day, alliances were forged at the point of the contest that gave Atiku Abubakar a valid, legitimate victory. Yes. You can complain. I keep saying you can complain about money, you can complain about influence, but there's no politics anywhere in the world where there's no lobbying, where there's no trading. There's none. You trade opportunities, you trade support, you trade money, you trade whatever. It's what a democracy is. We may moralize. I keep saying people are spending money, people are doing this. But the truth of the matter is that this is what we have created as our democracy. Unfortunately so. I run an organization that studies democracy, and we said it in 2011 that Nigeria was moving dangerously away from commercialization to commoditization of votes. Now, if we continue like this, which is why we need not just personnel changes at the very top. We need a structural, cultural rebirth of the entire nation.
Trickle down.
It must trickle down to my home. We've lost culture as Nigerians. So it's not about moralizing and saying somebody gives money. The truth is that an election was validly won using the principles of democracy.
Okay, let's agree
that sincerely Wasiri Adama won that election. Atiku would have not won if it has been originally sown to the Southeast. That's the point.
Okay, please let's leave that aside for now. Let's look at Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigerian People's Party. If he eventually picks a Southerner, maybe a Southeasterner, as his vice presidential candidate, do you see him winning or getting more support from the South?
I have said it before. Politics is far more complex than this issue of just creating a small vehicle and then thinking that it will carry you on a long journey. It doesn't work. Alliances will be important. Don't let me trivialize that. Alliances will be very important. If he's able to build the alliances he needs, not just towards the Southeast, but also towards the Southwest. Because it's a game of numbers. In politics, if a vote is removed from you and added to mine, that's a +2. It's not a +1, because it will be -1 on your side and +1 on my side, which gives you a two votes lead. So everybody is important. How the candidates are able to manage the impression they give to the country, to the citizens, and to the political elite and different interests will determine who is going to be given power. Nigeria is beyond the issue of just saying that people will go to the polling unit and then they will cast their vote. There are alliances that are made. There are interest blocks in the country that determine how their people vote. I, as a leader in my political party, if I come out and they know where I am, people that will follow me to vote, not just in my polling unit, but in other polling units, will follow me based on my person. So I have influence. So how you manage those individuals with influence? That's why I said, when you say Peter Obi will win, in the North, people don't vote based on religion. That's an error that people make. The North is largely Muslim. So it's not religion that determines. Religion influences it. It is the fact that in the North, the culture is obey the leader. Once their leaders say, whether they are religious leaders or otherwise, say that this is where we are going, that's where the people will go. It's not about religion.
Okay, talking about alliances, Reverend, there are some rumors coming from different areas that there's allegedly an alliance working on the ground between the NNPC, that is Rabiu Kwakwanso's party, and the Labour Party to shock the two major parties in the country.
Yeah, I like the word you use, to shock, that statement. Yeah, they may shock. That's what I was saying before, that they may create upset.
Yes.
That will not make the two major parties comfortable. Now, I've been looking at it. I follow trends. I want to know what happens in my environment. Even if I'm not a politician, I want to actively participate. I'm a world leader. I want to know what happens here, what happens there. You understand? And I'm looking at a situation that, no doubt about it, BAT, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, owns Southwest. There's no contest about it.
With the majority of big bosses,
no. They will make headway.
Okay.
You understand? On a condition, if Asiwaju has the right running mate.
So
not that one. So in that wise, those alliances may only create upset. But if we are not careful, if you go and sleep, the upset will become a major upset that may lead the contest to a runoff.
But okay, let's say this alliance is true. Who is going to step down for who? Between Rabiu Kwakwanso and Peter Obi.
It would be a negation of the principles upon which Peter Obi left the PDP for him to take a vice presidential candidate slot in the NNPP. But he knows that he cannot win. So there will be negotiations between his team and the NNPP team. But it's going to be a difficult negotiation. If concessions will need to be made, and that's part of politics. You make concessions, you make agreements, and then you move forward. You look at what's your best leg in winning election. The best leg of the APC in 2015 was Muhammadu Buhari. If that alliance had not been forged, Buhari would never have been president of this country.
Sure.
He would never. So that's why I said during the period when there was this issue as to the nomination of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the presidential candidate of that party, I did say something that it was, for me, it wasn't right. But now that's bygone. The truth is that alliances must be made. If you don't make alliances, your aspiration at best ends up as a potentially possible presidency. It will never be kinetic. You will never be there. So if they are able to make the alliances, don't forget, we are a political party that has political institutions that study. The PDP has the Democratic Institute also. We are going to study every move they make. In politics, all what my reverend gentleman and the elder brother has said here, valid. They are the truth. But the truth of the matter is that it goes deeper than that. Every move he makes, because it's war. And I use war lightly. It's not war as in conflict, as in physical conflict. It is war as in a context. And so it is normal for us as a political party to study every move everybody makes. Don't forget, before we got our presidential candidates, the APC kept shifting. They were shifting not because they had the problem of finances to conduct their primaries. They were shifting to see what our next move. It's a chess game.
Daybreak. The Daybreak Show.